In this video I have another Boombox. It's a sharp one. And we have a model number somewhere. It is CD-JX20X. Not one I've ever seen or heard of before. It's actually kind of cool looking in a strange way for a modern unit. Active servo technology. It looks like the display is a little dodgy. But it is kind of strangely reasonable looking. Even though it's kind of odd looking. I guess it's the modern version of the Mickey Mouse or something radio. With the double round bits. Got a CD player. I can't remember what works on this thing, if anything. But the reason I bought this is, to my surprise, I think this one actually has Tanashin mechanisms in it, which is the logic controlled ones. I've never seen them in the flesh, but I know they exist. And I've actually forgot what the deck number is, TN something. I'll better look that up, I guess. Should have got prepared before I started the video. Speakers are actually quite a bit smaller than the actual grills. So it's actually got remote. Active servo tech. Got an auxiliary input. Mixing mic. Oh, and that's right, this thing had something rattling in it when I got it. And turns out it's got a couple of batteries. I must get them out. I just poked it back in. So it's had the original sharp batteries from when it was made, no doubt. That one's rather rusty. Luckily, I don't think they've done any damage. But someone didn't even bother removing those. And when they sent it to me, because I had to get this off eBay, it had a weird thing rattling in it. I thought, what the hell's that? But that was just one of these. And yeah, that one I think can go, are they the same battery? Yep. That one's very poor condition, but then again, I might keep one just as a collectible. Other terminals look good. But I've been looking for, oh yeah, 2 batteries for clock memory, 3 volts. But I've been looking for one of these mechs for ages, and as far as I knew, only Sanyo and AOE use them. I probably have actually repaired units with these decks in them back when I still had a repair shop. But I wouldn't have took any notice of what they even were back then. I don't think I'd even heard of Tanashin back then, because it just wasn't something that really mattered to know who made what. Because you just order the parts if you needed them for a particular brand and model from that manufacturer. So it's only with the internet and people getting interested in tape decks again that I came across this manufacturer, even though I knew a lot of their decks pretty well. Can I get into that screw for some reason? Get in there. Come on, there we go. A bit like that one Panasonic I did, it was very hard to get the screwdriver in the heads of the screws. And I've got 3 screws holding something to do with the CD player in. Interesting texture on it. Got a couple of different reverse modes, play each side and stop, play both sides and stop, keep playing one side after the other, so that's pretty standard. Though if it's logic controlled, not sure how they necessarily do that, whether it's still mechanical, it probably is. Short screw down there, it makes sense I guess, because they are right down in the near the front panel there, down under the speakers there. Did I get that one? I think I loosened it but it didn't come out. And now it comes out, but not off. That's all those. There's 2 black screws here. That one didn't. 3 black screws there. Does the CD lift off, or is it just... Doesn't have arrows next to any of those, so that doesn't mean much. But one would assume the front now comes off. Possibly got to open the door. Something's definitely loose. Oh yeah, there we go. We've got a plug. Yeah, they are a funny looking mechanism. And what have we got here? One lead going to the tuner board off the speaker. Some sort of earth. Pretty solid little speakers, but little they definitely are. And yeah, that's different to what I expected them to look like. One little screw was hiding in there somewhere. So they've got a very flat sort of front on them, but yeah, that's the right one I think, with a big A-frame. It's got these switches up the top. That one's got 5 of them. That's only got 2. I think this is the first Tanashin's actually got a rotating erase head in it. Strangely, they seem to have avoided them. I assume those earlier mechanisms for the rotating heads had them, but so far the ones I've looked at haven't. There might be one mech that I didn't get the right deck. I may still be short one with a rotating erase head, but some of them they just didn't even bother, whereas other manufacturers had them from fairly early on, I think. So Tanashin seemed to have resisted it until this logic control deck. I guess the manufacturers probably demanded it in these later ones. I'll have to look up if it says what year this thing was made anywhere. I doubt it says on it. Not sure, late 90s maybe. Uh-oh, we have bits falling out. At least they're gone hard. That is a belt, I think. Well, part of one. Not sure what happened to the LCD. It's got black stuff up there, black there. So that's deteriorated. Is that meant to be there, that bit, or what is that? I don't think that's meant to be there. It's got like a spring or something up under the display. What? Oh, maybe it is meant to. Is that it's touching the tape deck? Did that touch a piece of metal on the front? Is that some crude? Yeah, it is. It's that metal piece. That's a crude piece of earthing. God, it looks like a piece of the cassette deck escaped. But I guess it'll do the job. And yeah, whether the CD works, like I say, is another thing, because these sharps are very common for lasers failing in them. But it looks like we've only got maybe 3 screws. And hopefully the deck comes loose. Because this I'm interested in looking at. And it's got a lot of circuit board on the back and nothing is letting go here. I don't want to pull it too hard. There's some sort of big cable there. Do we need to slide the CD out first? I don't think the CD does slide out first. Or maybe that's what those other 5 screws are for. You've got to slide everything out together. Where were they there? XE, extra editing system. Tape length, auto edit, random XL. Don't know what that's all about. Does that achieve a thing? Doesn't feel like it. So what did those screws do? Oh yeah, this CD part, the top part is loose. Got 2 screws at the front. Don't know, do we take them out and lift it off or something? You never know with these things. Looks like that's doing something to release. Well, I've got the CD mech in there. Do we just oh, there's another plug down the back there I can see, but we've got a ribbon cable at the front. This handle being annoying, and a plug down the side here. And yeah, there's our CD section. Just a little circuit board. Don't see anything obvious date-wise or anything. It does have 07 on there, but I don't think that's even a separate number necessarily. Oh wait, that is a plastic. Wow, could it be that old? That's showing 90. 6789XY. Don't know that it would be. I mean, it certainly could be as old as 1990. I mean, it is a more interesting design for sure. And given the LCD's deteriorating, it's certainly possible. Yeah, this mech I think should come out as one unit. Cassette players, CD, yeah, it's all definitely loose, but we've got screws. What have I missed? Holding the sockets, and the sockets are loose. There's probably clips somewhere or something. I can kind of see a clip on the back there, and that doesn't do anything. Oh, I got this speaker connector thing in the way. Ah. I can see a screw down under the decks. That is guaranteed to hold that together, I would think, but whether it holds everything together. Ah, bingo, that's it. So we've got a couple of connectors there. I can feel something over here. That's the CD display. I'll be going to the tuner, I guess. I think there's a tuner board down in there. Yeah, I've even got a digital TV type tuner module, and this is one of those horrible connectors I don't like, and it doesn't unplug the other end. Let's just leave that for a second. I don't know if I have to undo that at all. Now I can see the tape decks. I think the belts are intact, so whatever that thing was, it wasn't a belt. I don't think. But yeah, that's turning one of the reels on each deck. Heads aren't engaged though. So before we do much more, maybe we should power it up. I kind of wanted to see there's a big... There's an amp chip in there. What have we got? LA4508. Can I get these decks out? So this is where the connections for the decks are. So how the heads go to that board, but then that board's got all these, again, unpluggable type connectors, but at least now that we're out, we might be able to move this out of here. Let's got this post here coming right up inside it. Yeah, those wires are awfully short. One of them, oh no, that goes to the display board. Where's this other big cable? Oh, this cable here is coming up from the board itself. That does have an unpluggable, easily unpluggable connector. Is that the idea? Do we cut this cable tie and then we've only got a small connector. Is that even part of the tape deck? It is, but that one should stretch alright. Oh yeah, actually that gives us enough to get over that mount, sort of. SHU9L03712, no, not a date I don't think. I should be able to just lift this board up out of the way, I think. That connector should be an unpluggable type. Get rid of that cable tie. actually got plastic mounts on this thing, look at it, and 2 screws. We should be able to fold this board over one way or the other, and well, then again, if we've got a connector there, maybe not. Off to the rest of the unit. Oh, that one goes, that's an unpluggable as well, so that's good. Oh, they're both unpluggable. Because before I do anything, I wouldn't mind having a look at this thing. There's our mechs unplugged. That doesn't really tell us anything, that stamp. If we squeeze that, we should let it out carefully. Remove that. Carefully remove that. Oh, what have we got? The motor unplugs. Being careful not to catch the connector there, because that circuit board can break off these. If you're not careful. Oh, we had a couple of head, or a head connector. Yeah, that looks like the Tanashin mech for sure. From what I've seen. I didn't think most sharps, besides the budget ones, don't seem to use Tanashin mechs for these sort of auto reverse decks, but this one does. Twin solenoids. Don't see anything that says it's a Tanashin, but they often didn't. But yeah, the mech with the switches, I did check all the rest of the bits looked right. So it's got a twin sort of cam in the middle there, a mechanical, oh actually that's for the other reel, so the idlers are these mechanical gears, but look at that one comes off the middle. There's another one over here, a twin one, probably got a clutch in it, goes to the rewind side, or it's the, well, and these don't technically have a rewind side, do they? But since they're dual direction, and a big twin cam in the middle, which one of these solenoids no doubt activates to get the deck to go into play mode, to lift it up. And yeah, the belt's on the, so there is a belt. It does have a second belt to that idler, the central idler, with a clutch on the back here, and those belts are still intact as well. So I thought I had a dried up belt, but I thought it was a bit weird. It was crunchy rather than gooey. So I don't know what that thing was in here. It might have been a foreign object. But that's really cool to finally see one of those. And yeah, it's a shame they get things like these displays going out on them. Gonna be the problem with some of these higher tech units, I guess. And I think I might take that out and give that a good dust out, because that's got a lot of muck in there, down in there, and some little dust balls and stuff. Where does that big poster go on this? So that would have been behind that, I guess. No, that went much lower. Oh, that big post slots up that hole there, I guess. Under there. Yeah, that's it. So I'll get the dust out of that, and I'll get some photos of this thing. Finally get to see one in the flesh. Yeah, dual flip over heads. And yeah, occasionally these plastic bits would split. Little gears and stuff will go. Not sure about on Tanashins necessarily, but on these decks generally with the rotary heads. And it does kind of look, seeing it in the flesh now, those twin yellow solenoids do look somewhat familiar. So I wouldn't be surprised if these were used in some of the later. I certainly repaired some Sanyos and some Sharps. Seem to be the more common ones I saw, sort of MIDI systems more than boom boxes. So more likely I've repeated these decks before, but I just didn't know it at the time. And that was 20 years or more ago now. Yeah, well, this unit should be a TN1800 cassette deck. Couldn't find any info on when the unit was built, so anyone's guess is good enough on that. You'd assume if it was older these belts would have had it, but again, depends on the condition it's been kept in. Maybe they've been changed at some point, but I might at least measure the belts. They do slip ever so slightly, so they might be getting a bit on the old side. Not sure if that's going to be enough to stop it, but it might slip when the gears try to turn and lift the deck or something. So it's possible they're not the best, but I think we'll put it back in and fire it up. Looks like we don't have to actually disassemble anything. We've got the pulley down in there, you just can lift these off, I think. But since I'm kind of getting a record of what all the different belt sizes are, we might as well flick these off. And that, what have we got? The left side from this side is the upper pulley. You can probably tell from the location of the pulleys on the capstans or something, because these capstans must sit at different heights, or those ones kind of stick out more, which makes them closer to the motor on that deck and less on that deck. So we've got a shorter belt this side, longer one I think on that side, or are they the same? Oh, maybe they're actually quite close, but it is slightly longer. And then we've got a couple of idler belts that should be the same one, I would think. Yeah, capstans look the same. Again, there's a thicker bit under that capstan because the capstan's lifted up, but that is still at the same height. So that is about a 46. It's right on 85. I don't think they're really stretched, so yeah, that one's an 85 on what is the left hand side from the back where the head's towards you. I think the 95 is actually slightly bigger. So these ones really don't match the size yet. No, I'm going with a 90 on that one. 95 is too big. So we know what they are, that's good. So let's see if we get that around that pulley maybe. Oops. Okay, let's get this one onto the bottom pulley, or closest to the motor. And of course it wants to go on the top one. Definitely on the bottom, and I guess the only way it can go is round there, round there. Oh, and there's a pulley. I'm going to say it feels a bit long. Now we need the top of the motor pulley. I can almost get that to go around there. There it goes. And I guess this is the same. It has to come around that side of that one, round there. Yeah, originally, oh, wait up, we've got one reel going backwards now. Was that the case before? I know they were both spinning. No way I can make that pulley, unless it went, could it have gone around there? I guess it can go that way too, can't it? There is actually two ways it can go, that's handy. Now they're turning the same way, so I reckon that's how it went. Good thing I spotted that. Goes to show some of these things, because I didn't take that much notice. I should have really took notice which side of it went. But I would expect them both to go the same way, and since one's, yeah, that belt goes around that way, yeah, so that has to go that way then, yeah, that makes sense. So that's why I needed the extra pulley there. And what are all these buttons for? One, I think that one's usually just tape in. I don't have a metal, in fact both of those are just tape in. Oh, of course that's a, one of them is, I think the metal thing is there somewhere. So the one next to the record tab is probably just tape in. This one does have record, of course. So that's record, that's your tape in, I'm guessing. That's metal, I think. Or it's the metal tab there, geez, I can't remember. Is there something for chrome? What's the other one? Oh, that's for the record in the other direction. Since it's an auto reverse machine, and this is at the full proper auto reverse erase head. So the erase head changes size, so we need to know the record tab on both sides of the tape, of course. Something you forget about in these decks. I'm trying to remember. I threw out the only metal tape I ever bought, unfortunately, so I can't remember where the tabs go. But I'm guessing this has that function. Auto tape selector. It's a normal chromium and metal, so maybe chrome and metal do have that. I do have some chrome tape somewhere, but I'm not even going to try and remember where I put those. So maybe it's a chrome and metal. I think the metal was the one closer to the center. Tape in, record one direction, record the other direction. That makes sense. And I did notice the heads are very dirty in this, so before I do anything else, I think we'll give that a clean. That head is, well, luckily it comes straight off, but it did have a look at all the oxide that just came off that. Someone put a pretty bad tape in it at some point. Pinch rollers aren't too bad. They look a little, maybe like they're deteriorating and going a bit white, just from age of the rubber. Guess we might as well, a good thing about cleaning it is you can see if all the pinch rollers turn. And the other good thing is we can turn the capstans by putting our finger on them and turning them. It makes it a lot easier than trying to do it through the door on the front of the tape deck. Yeah, so quite a bit of muck coming off this thing. Did I get it all? Missed one spot, I think. That one's covered in muck. Probably whatever got on the head's also got on there. Yeah, that was a really bad tape. Might have even been the eBay seller testing the thing with some old tape, because that just comes straight off, and there's a bit on that guide there as well. Might as well clean both guides. Yeah, but the pinch rollers, other than looking a bit like the rubber's gone off us slightly, quite clean. So these are the door. Yeah, I think they're just this sort of latch. Yeah, little pathway where the door thing goes up, locks in, and then you press it again and it opens. So it looks like they're part of the actual cassette deck. Is it that though? Because what is this? Is this some sort of... Oh yeah, that's, I can say it's not an eject thing, it actually locks the door from it. Of course, when the heads go up, that's why they want them on the mechanisms. It means that that bit's blocked, so you cannot open the door while the heads are poked up inside it, because of course logic control, it's not like a normal cassette deck where you got the stop eject button, which shows you why they have a stop eject button, because first you need the deck stop so that the heads retract, pinch roller disengages, then you can eject it. So we don't normally see them on different buttons, because if you have a separate stop and a separate eject, someone can just press eject mid-play and your tape's going to be trying to force its way out while the heads are up inside it, the pinch roller's grabbing it, and you're probably going to break something, and plus your tape's going to be jammed in there, so if you do get it out, it's going to have tape pulling out of the case. So when we have a logic control, we need the computer basically to tell the deck to stop. It doesn't actually then allow it to release via the computer, but the fact that this head assembly has dropped down allows this to pivot. You can see that there's a little cutout in there, and these things obviously they push up, which we can't really do. That bit slides sideways. And I can just get it in there, and now this is sort of starting to lock, but it's stuck in one position. So all those little things they got to think about when they design these things, but let's put it back in the machine, and I think we should fire this thing up and see if it actually does anything. Now to get this back together, what I'm going to do, push the wire through, I guess, the motor board, I think was a bit, yeah, that little connector bit has to come through. Then can we clip those on? Oh yeah, the 2 screws went in, so we can clip our little plastic bits on if that motor's through. These plastic standoff things, just being careful. Then we've got 2 metal thread screws. Probably not the most fun thing to work on if you get a cassette player fault. But you can use the solenoids, of course, to trigger the cam, and wind them through by hand is usually how you had to do them. Because you can't work on it with this circuit board attached to the back and everything. Or you can see the front of them, of course, but if it's a fault on the back somewhere, you're not going to see much. There's not an awful lot to see on the front of these, but if it's head or pinch roller issues or something, you might be able to work on it. And oh, you'll better plug our motor in, or we won't have much action from the tape deck if we don't get that plugged into the board. Because that makes every function on this thing operate. Well, you probably hear the solenoids click, I guess that's about it without that on board. But no, mech isn't going to lift up or anything. I guess the other problem with these is they can get jammed up. I think this is meant to be up in there. And these are meant to slot up in there possibly, is that the idea? But they can jam the doors shut on these things, is the problem with them. If there's an issue with them, I think I'm meant to pull that out, slot it into that higher slot. Got some box to come out. Can we get this one up in there though? That's quite a bit of wiring to try and... They look like they have been bent and shoved up in there though. Just going by the way the cables are folded up. Let's come back out. Fiddly bloody things. Oh, actually I think you can do that after you put this back together anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're meant to slot up in there somewhere to stop them making a mess. Now that one doesn't really go into the slot anyway, so well, maybe we don't worry about that one. And that one's too far up, so we don't want these rubbing on the back. Oh, I guess there's a circuit board there, so that'll stop it. Oh, I was meant to clean this thing out, wasn't I? I completely forgot about that. Now there are a few screws, and of course I've forgotten where they went. Oh, got to plug the heads back in, we've got to remember that too. Oh, did they have to go on the back of that board? I probably should have done them before. Well, now is the time actually. But before I even drop that down, I always tend to make it so you don't see them to the last minute. And that's why I don't do a bit of it one day and a bit of it the next day. I always used to try and fix stuff. Used to keep the parts and stocks on this sort of stuff because you wanted to get it opened up, quoted, and fixed all in the one thing if possible. Because otherwise it's easy to forget what went where. And yeah, one of the silliest things ever in service manuals is they didn't tell you the length of the belts. You could order the parts from the manufacturer, was about it, I guess is one way, but you couldn't really plan ahead, see that the belts are broken or whatever, and just order them, which is why you had to stock them. Come on, oh, that's not the hole then. Explains why that's doing weird stuff, because it just goes right through. I can just see what looked like the mark from a screw there, so it must be these two, I assume. Don't go there, these ones go right through to the where the back panel and the front panel go together, so they must be where the screws go. You don't really have to remember everything because you can usually work it out, but still nicer if you've just done it half an hour ago or something, rather than 24 hours ago. And some little bit of plastic tape's come off something. Maybe we'll just Dyson it instead. So, what did we unplug? I can't even remember. There was two there, and that one, the CD player we can leave out probably. Where'd our multicolour plug go? That's right, that one came up to the top here, to that connector, I think. Because, of course, FM radio wants to plug into the LCD display. Well, and the AM, of course, since that'll be digital as well and this sort of thing. Did that come up through here? Must have done, I'm guessing. Okay, we should, besides speakers and CD, be in working order, I guess. What is it? Figure 8 power cord, I guess. So how do we power this thing on? Is that, yeah, that is the power button there. Well, both tape decks just made a noise and reset. Well, let's try the easy deck. These two, we've probably got a switch between deck A and B. Is it? Do we have one set of buttons for both? We would. Oh, tape 1, 2 is that one. Not really telling us much, is it? Oh, here we go. Yep, so that deck's come up. That deck's changed direction. And yeah, you see that's locked in. Oh, nearly came off. That's locked in place, tilted to the side for some reason, so that can't move, whereas that one can. Fast forward. Rewind. Let's just pause. I guess we could try pause. Should drop the pinch roller off. Is it pause? Oh, it doesn't pause. Oh, it's only record pause. Probably doesn't have a pause on the play deck. I'm not sure which switch is which. I don't think anything really labels which switch is which on these things, just to make life more difficult. And I've never bothered to write down what is what. Okay, so that's the auto stop operating, I take it. Fast forward. Rewind. Doesn't look like we can pause it in that mode. How do we, is that, oh, that is record and pause. Do I have to hit play? Play, stop, play, record, pause. Oh, it depends what direction we're going into, I guess. Oh, now we can go into something. Yeah, something's flashing. Oh, I think we're in, oh yeah, record mode. That pauses it. That plays it. So when you hit record, it goes into pause mode by the look of it. Yeah. Play flashes, record comes on. Now we're recording. Now we're paused. Can we change direction? Probably not until it gets to the end of the tape. What happens when that happens? Well, it didn't change direction, but we switched to the right mode. That's the other problem, because we've got a mode switch here for direction type, and of course we're not in auto reverse. Typical. Who the hell uses an auto reverse deck in non-auto reverse mode? Somebody obviously did. Let's try recording again. Play. Still didn't change direction. I cannot get any of these decks to work in record, so maybe it still doesn't auto reverse. Well, why would it have a swiveling head unless it's just so you can record it manually in each side at a time? Let's just play. Yeah, that flipped over alright. And again. And it will keep probably going back and forth like a car cassette player. Yep. Interesting. Yeah, I really can't remember. So long since I've used a cassette player, whether any of them you could put them in. Let's try the other mode. Whether you could get them to auto reverse record. I had a feeling they would, but I could be wrong. You may have had to manually change direction when it got to the end of the tape. I remember, I'm pretty sure I've recorded on both sides without pulling the tape out, but it doesn't look like it's going to let you auto reverse and change sides without, wait until the cassette stops. Then you probably got to hit record again. Well, that's interesting. It's flashing that side. Don't tell me Tanashin is still not. Well, you wouldn't have a rotating erase head if you couldn't use both sides, surely. Can we? How do we change direction on this thing? Can we change? Yeah, it goes to show how many. I might have to look at the manual. I think there's a manual on instruction manual, or was it the service manual online? I forgot now. It was the service manual online, because that's how I found out it had the right mech in it. That only flashes one direction. That's crazy, really. Surely they don't make you take the tape out. Yeah, wow, it's like even after all this, it still won't record. I'm pretty sure the Sony I had would allow you to record both on either side of the tape without removing it. So the things you learn are these things, and this is a problem. Different manufacturers had different things. It was a real pain when you bought something thinking it would do certain things, and then find out that that particular model didn't do it. No doubt a few got returned in the day because they weren't up to the job. Oops, that button's getting going up in the air a bit. I don't think I even touched that one, did I? So that's, you've got to be super careful with these buttons. They're easy to break. Shouldn't really be using them much without everything hooked up. Well, I think we'll plug the CD player back in. Might as well plug the speakers back in and test everything on this thing. Let's have a look at this CD player before we even put it back in. I can't see the laser number yet. Oh, is that it? That's not a sharp. Oh, yes, it is. H8124AF. I'm pretty sure that is part of a sharp part number. But that's definitely what you would have looked up to get a replacement for it. Actually looks nice and clean. The interior is not clean in here, but the laser is by the look of it. And that stuff just doesn't want to come out. And I guess while we've got it in bits, let's firstly clean. Well, I should really use some metho to clean that, but let's clean it with cleaner. That'll do. Nice decent sized clamp in this thing, and that is actually surprisingly clean. Still some dust up in there, of course. It's everywhere. And yeah, let's do these holes around the buttons and stuff. That'll be a dirty one, the on-off one, because that would have got used a lot. And get down these little slots while we can. Because that's probably got some greasy finger muck in there. A lot easier to clean it now than afterwards. I've made so many dust collection points and grease collection points. And we've got one, I think it's just an earth to the radio, we won't worry about that, but is there some more of that black stuff? What? It's very belt kind of size, maybe a bit bigger, but it's brittle. Don't know if that was part of this unit or something that fell in there, but anyway. Maybe we'll find it's a bit of the gasket off the speaker or something weird. Oh, I wonder if was there a seal in here or something? Doubt it, but yeah, maybe there was some... Yeah, I wonder if they had a seal in these. Oh yeah, there is, I think. Is that a bit of it still in there? Ah, yeah, there you go. Whoops, it just fell out. So it was some sort of... I've got to watch this bit doesn't slide out. There was a gasket of some sort in here. Yeah, it's still in most of it. Yeah, that's more like what it is. Dried up foam, that's where it's brought up. That's from there onwards is missing. And some of that bit... Oh, there's a bit sticking out there, here it comes. Oh, we'll get rid of that bit at the end. But there is a whole piece around. I thought it looked like it's probably something to do with the unit. And they didn't really give us much speaker wire here. I think we're actually going to have to plug it in and put the front back in place. Because we're not going to have much trouble, we're not going to have much luck getting a cassette in there. We're going to have a lot of trouble. You do want to make sure that sits in enough that the cassettes, of course the radio plug I didn't put back in is blocking it. Make sure the cassettes are not going to sit funny on the reels or anything, because you'll probably chew a tape. Yeah, volume's not too bad. Tuner didn't want to change. Mono stereo. The old band will be on the front here somewhere, won't it? There we go. Okay, band. Yeah, that button is, both of them are pointing up a bit, so they're a little bit bent. Let's go for 936, I think it is. I can't remember what frequency anything else is on these days. Not there is much. There we go.
If you're listening to the ABC listener, you should have contact options on your screen there.
You've got an antenna on this thing? Oh, there it is.
So when you hang the washing on the outside clothesline, she says, I'll put it under the carport.
The radio AM's really just the rod antenna, but it does have an antenna on the back there. So what is, there's more display there. Oh, that must be the CD section. We're going to have a dodgy, how do we get to CD there? Oh yeah, right on the CD bit. And yeah, at least it's not too bad over the tracks and stuff. Now, is that going to work? I hear it making a noise. Oh yeah, it read it almost instantly. But it's not playing it. Hello? Huh, weird. Reads the table of contents. That button isn't actually working. Oh, that's what it is. It comes up with the time of the first track. Here we go, it's playing. It does show the track number right under that blob of black. Stop button doesn't work the best either. Yeah, for some reason it starts showing 01341, so I assumed it was meant to play, but it's probably just hasn't been used. It's working now. Switch is just unused for a while, I'm guessing. So that actually seems to work. Well, I'm impressed. Got auxiliary input. Let's check the tapes out. Oops, don't press on the grills because you might bend them. Well, auto reverse ain't much use in this one because there's nothing on the other side. Just make sure that front stays on. Like most of them, it looks like it auto detects just by those switches that you don't need to change tape 1, tape 2. It knows there's a tape in if there's only one. Chances are if we put another tape in there, it'll then only play one in particular. We're on 2 now. And to get the other deck to play, we need to press the other one. Yeah. Well, that's an impressive mix of bass and treble. From, I don't think there's any tweeters in this thing, just one-way speakers. But that thing cranks pretty well. Obviously not going to sound too impressive on tape, I guess, but on CD, that bassy mix of delirium sounds pretty good. Yeah, just one-way speakers, wide range of course. But one thing we're going to have to do is actually remove those because they are full of dust. And it really ruins the look of it. There is a bit of dust down in the doors, wants to go as well. But we got most of it out when we did down the bottom there. And yeah, the weirdest kind of... Well, this bit's fairly smooth, but that's got that weird texture. So it is a bit of a strange looking unit in some ways. But let's disconnect those. But yeah, I'm very impressed with the sound out of that. Good to hear they actually made one that can play CDs really well, since that probably would have been the main purpose of it in some ways. But supposedly this was a higher end expensive boombox, and you can't complain about the sound on it. That'd be one of the better sound and boomboxes they ever made, I think, which is not bad out of these little speakers. They are a bit sun faded. Looks like we need the vacuum again. And I've been a bit gentle there because these have got that foam that fails. I don't want to push that down at all, but that is that kind of foam that tends to fail in speakers. So we don't want to give it any reason to tear at the moment, even though that is probably going to go one day. Especially if I play it like that and get the bass cranking in it. Can't really get right down in that grill to clean it, I don't think, so that could be a problem. Ideally, you'd probably re-blacken these cones as well. I think I got a bit of, what have we got? Oh, that was just putting a bit of dust on there. Worried me for a second. Bit of stuff stuck to the cone. A couple of splattered bits of something there. So that would probably look quite a bit better if you blackened it. But yeah, it's impressive how good the high frequency is at the same time. But some of the little bookshelf speakers and stuff they made were kind of similar to this. Basically had a fake or pretty rubbishy tweeter in them, so the sort of wide range speaker was doing everything, and they did sound very good. Wow, look at that. The whole cone seemed to be coated in dust with that one. Careful poke down there with the screwdriver. You don't want to risk getting paper in there. Probably should really do it with a rag so it doesn't tear off. Well, there's no risk of it tearing off in there. You can get it out, but who needs the hassle of that sort of thing? Yeah, I think there is a bit of dust further down maybe. It's not too bad. There's a bit of sort of dust on the outside. Can we get that out of there? Oh yeah, it does come out, I think. Maybe some of that's from me messing around here. There's dust, yeah, definitely dust on the inside. Some of it's actually coming through the cone. I'm forcing it through, I think. You can see little white bits. Look at that, what the... Weird. Not sure what the brush is doing with that, but it seems to be getting it out of there. Well, that's got the bulk of it out of there. That one's, oh, that's actually dented, I just realised. It's got a dent along there somewhere. I might have to press on something or do they just wobble off. Being very careful you don't pull too hard on that speaker terminal thing and break it. Yeah, it's right over here. There's a fold. I think it's sort of, well, it's better than it was. I can't really get my finger in where I need it. You can hook something through from the outside and carefully, but you tend to just bend up the one piece rather than... I get a screwdriver and then carefully, very gently just... Because if you push too much, you'll bend just one little lump up. That's working quite well. It's a fold right with the tip of that. Ooh, this one seems to be coming out quite nicely. It starts right on the edge there. It's going to be the problem. How can we get in there? Nope. So we're starting to hit the cassette wells. Well, that's not bad. It's just a bit in that corner. Well, that end of the fold. By pushing a bit lower, I've kind of fixed it. See if you actually put a hook through there or something, preferably a small screwdriver. I think that's going to have to be as good as it gets, because I don't want to risk actually pushing one little piece up. Can I sort of... Yeah, so we're starting to bend that up a little bit. I was just hoping I could bend away from it a bit and that would bend it. That bit would go back down while lifting the other piece up. That's as good as it's going to get. And this is battery powered, I believe. I guess if you could put some modern battery pack in there rather than chewing through many dollars worth of D cells. Of course, most of these do having a CD player in it. It probably runs off 12 volts, so you could just hook up a lead acid battery or something, 6 ampere hour type one or something, just to make it economical to use. If you're going to use it on a campsite or something, you wouldn't be paying for, but of course you could run it off a vehicle then, probably, depending what you're doing and whether you've got vehicles with you. And we'll give that a bit of a clean up, but yeah, that looks a lot better. It's just, I can, because I know it's there, there's a slight little fold there, even that bit's not quite perfect. But yeah, that's pretty good. And wait a minute, I've just realised, did I screw that? Oh, I had to make that connector so short, didn't I? No, I didn't. Yes, I did. I screwed that back in, but I just remember there was a black screw under there. Was there something holding the CD? Yeah, I've got to put a screw back in under there. Then we've got another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the back. That gives me 2 extra screws. Did I forget something off the CD? Hate it when you've got extra screws. You should never have extra screws. Oh, there is 2 under. See, I basically couldn't see them, but 2 screws got to go in here. These speakers are demagnetized my screwdriver, of course. Which is a problem. They will sometimes demagnetize your screwdriver. If you rub them again in the right way, you should be able to remagnetize it with them. So 2 in there, 1 under that bottom bit. Make sure we plug the speakers back in before we put the big screws back in. Mate, I never have to touch that connector again. And yeah, this is one way you can probably bend those switches, is when you put the front back on, you've got to be careful to line it all up. Is that all sitting in place right? And yeah, 3 along the top of the CD, a couple below them. And that screw is out of a Phillips or something, so that's not part of it. Because that's a Torx head. Then we've got this big bunch of big ones. Well, there's one cable tied and put back in, but oh well. And your 2 short ones out of those go on the bottom. But yeah, good to see they made the speaker box is all sealed up properly and stuff. Of course, part of it's missing now, which is not ideal, but this thing could have made a nice bit of sound. I think we've actually got a port in the back as well for the bass. It's surprising how good some of this stuff could sound, even though it's just plastic. If they sealed it up and made it out of nice solid plastic, maybe that's why they use the rounded speakers, because that would actually make more sense than a bunch of flat panels with corners. Acoustically, a lot less likely to vibrate and stuff. And that must be one of the long ones. And I take it there's one more in here somewhere. Is that a long one? Must have been. It's a fair way down. Just make sure it doesn't come out the front panel. Short ones in the corners. And we've managed to put all our screws back in. probably should clean the dust out of the battery compartment. I'm definitely not going to put any batteries back for the radio memory because they'll just end up leaking again, no doubt, before someone remembers they're in there again. And yeah, needs a bit more of a clean here and there. But yeah, overall, not a bad looking unit, at least as far as condition. There are a couple of marks, a little scratch on the volume. Still plenty of dust, could really do with cleaning out of it, and yeah, a bit of an odd finish, a very plasticky looking thing. But I kind of like the way the speakers go in it. It's certainly kind of sleeker, a bit different looking design. Matter of taste, I guess. Someone probably thinks it's absolutely hideous, but compared to some of these things, especially some of the later 90s stuff or early 2000s, it's not too bad looking, though definitely a bit weirder than some. But I reckon they made those round because it makes for less chance of rattly stuff, especially when you're cranking something as loud as this can go and with as much bass. That is an important thing for the manufacturer to consider. And probably easier just to mould it up as the outside of the case and try and fit something like that inside a square box. And no doubt they're trying to make it look a bit different. But yeah, I would like to know a year. I'm thinking it's more like a 1996 kind of era thing. But I don't think it could have been as early as 1990 like that possible date code in there said, but you never know. Not sure if the CD would be that sort of era. I can't remember those sharp lasers. I don't think the early ones had numbers like that on it. I'm pretty sure that is a sort of late 90s type laser. Though I could be wrong on that. And it could be one that I never really saw, but most of the sharp lasers I saw in boomboxes. Also the shelf systems were quite common for going. And you did see the odd component CD player, but they're a lot rarer, but normally a shelf system or a boomboxy thing like this. This is kind of a shelf system in itself, really, the quality of it. It's really just a shelf system built in portable form with the chance to use it off batteries. But a lot of it other than that would be very similar. Same sort of size amplifier, similar kind of speakers. I guess they probably had slightly bigger speakers and probably wooden box ones or something, but it is kind of a shelf system built into a boombox housing. Is it 12 volts this thing? Oh, 15 volts. So this is actually even higher than usual. Yeah, 10 batteries. Sum 1. I guess that's a D cell. Going by the whole size. Wow, so it's actually 15 volts. Got 3 different beat cancel settings. I don't think I've ever had a need for a beat cancel switch, but I guess some places where there's a lot of radio stations you probably do. It does have a phone socket. Don't think I noticed that last time, as well as the mixing mic. DC 15 volt, yeah, D cell times 10, and the 2 AA cells for memory backup. And we've got a bit of Arabic type writing there. What does that say? Oh, better be careful because these doors like to open just from being pressed on. Contains no user serviceable parts. Never remove covers unless qualified to do so. This unit contains dangerous voltage. Always remove main plugs from the socket before any service operation and when not in use for a long period. Yeah, I just wonder what I was talking about, a long period. So I guess it doesn't hurt to unplug it if you're not going to use it. Since this thing probably has the transformer and stuff running in it, that power switch there is only like a standby type one. I guess we better double check it one more time. Oh, that was on. Okay, main power, time of sleep, FM stereo. One thing we didn't check is on time. Oh, so it's got a timer on. Auto memory display, timer. How do we set the clock on this thing? Well, possibly without the batteries, it shouldn't matter though. Hour and minute. band, display, sleep. Time adjust is a memory button. Or do we hold that down or something? Oh, okay, we do. Oh, simple enough when you read the right label. I saw the minute and hour, I couldn't see the time adjust button. And yeah, I'll have to see if I can find out where those slots are on those tapes, which button's which. Actually, I'm wrong, this other one is further across. Yeah, tape 1 comes on when I do that. Tape 2 comes on when I press that. For some reason I thought that switch was right next to the other one. Okay, that makes sense. I think one of them has a wider... One of them has the middle... Slots near the middle I think was the metal, and the chrome was the wider record slot. That makes sense. These other ones just detect the top of the tape. Yeah, so the one that's in towards the center is the tape in. We get tape like 1 or 2. This other one here must be next to the record switch. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us what this deck does, but it's not going to do metal and chrome. It's going to do chrome, I think, is the one next to the record. So that does have one other type of tape selector, but it doesn't have the inner one right next to the middle of the tape. And yeah, we've got a little bit of noise there in the background. That's just amp noise. There's a tiny bit of hum if we turn right up on tape. So that's how you turn your time. Oh, it's got timer record. Off playback. Ah, so maybe if you set the timer you can have it play or record. Oh yeah, we've got that. What's this XE extra editing system? Random XL auto edit. Probably got to read the manual for that. Doubt it's anything very useful. CD synchronized recording system. 4 times oversampling. 20 steps. 20 steps. APMS. Automatic something. Music search. Don't know. Active servo technology. Probably refers to the CD player. And they've got that on the front here as well. I mean, they've all got an active servo in them, they wouldn't be able to read the disc otherwise. But that's that Tanashin mech TN1800. That's their kind of their highest end with the proper rotating head with erase head, though for some reason it still looks like you can't do both sides, so I might have to have a look. I don't know if it was a user manual for this or just a service manual. I would have thought you'd be able to record both directions. It's got APSS, so automatic program, what was it? Selection system or something. Seek system, maybe it was Seek. I think on one of the other videos I found out what that actually meant with Sharp. It might be automatic program search system, so we can go through the tape and find each track. Got one touch edit. Oh yeah, normal and high speed of course, because you can do high speed dubbing. But that's that one all going, and we've seen what that mechanism's like, so that finally I can put a line under it. I don't have to waste another $100 on one of these boomboxes that I really don't want. So who knows, I'm probably $300 to $500 in on just buying these sort of things. But that's what a bit of Google ad revenue goes to, so thanks to everyone who watches the channel and puts up with adverts. Because then we can buy some random boomboxes and do some random research into something that's basically well and truly obsolete, and find out what some of these random mechanisms are. But that's all we're going to do on that one, so thanks for watching.